What the Study Says.
Welcome back to What the Study Says. I'm Dr. Kai.
And I'm Dr. May.
Now, have you ever met someone or heard of someone claiming an incredible age, like over 110?
Yeah, you see those stories sometime.
Well, what if I told you the chances of that person actually being that old or maybe even still around are, well, surprisingly low?
Huh. It sounds a bit like one of those quirky news items.
Yeah.
And speaking of quirky, today we're diving into the Ig Nobel Prizes.
Yes, the Ig Nobels. Love them. They celebrate research that, first makes you laugh.
And then makes you think.
Yeah.
Exactly. And our focus is the 2024 winner in demography.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's for a study called Supercentenarian and Remarkable Age Records Exhibit Patterns Indicative of Clerical Errors and Pension Fraud.
Oh, wow. Okay, so not just funny, potentially serious implications, too.
Definitely. Get ready, because this might just upend what you think about extreme old age. All right, let's dig in. The first really surprising thing they found, it's right here in the USA. Researchers found that in states where birth certificates were finally, properly introduced, the number of recorded supercentenarians, people supposedly 110 or older, just plummeted.
Plummeted how much?
By a shocking 69% to 82%.
Wow, that's huge. So better record keeping actually led to fewer supercentenarian.
Exactly. It wasn't confirming them, it was reducing them dramatically.
Which strongly suggests that, well, without clear proof, there was a lot of room for error.
Or maybe other factors were involved in those old records.
Okay. Interesting start.
But it gets even stranger. The patterns aren't just a U.S. thing. They looked at Italy, England, France, Japan.
Right. Other developed countries.
And they found this really weird link. Regions with lots of supercentenarians often matched up with areas of, well, poverty.
Poverty. You'd think longevity would correlate with better conditions.
Right. Low income, higher crime rates, and even shorter average life expectancies overall in those same areas.
Shorter average life expectancy. But more supercentenarians, that doesn't add up.
Not at all. Like Tower Hamlets in England, one of London's most deprived areas, had the most semi-supercentenarians per capita. Bizarre.
So, okay, if these longevity hotspots are actually disadvantaged areas, how on earth do you explain the concentration of really, really old people?
Well, the study points pretty strongly towards fraud and just, basic clerical errors.
Maybe because the record keeping was historically less robust there. Easier for mistakes to happen or go unnoticed.
That seems likely. Or maybe, just maybe, the financial incentive from pensions was simply more significant for people facing real hardship.
That makes a grim kind of sense. Wow.
And the weirdness doesn't stop there. They looked at the birth dates themselves.
What about them?
Supercentenarian birthdays. Suspiciously clustered. Lots on days divisible by 5, or often the very first day of the month.
Okay, that's known as age heaping. That's a classic red flag for demographers.
Right. Real birthdays are generally spread out pretty evenly.
Yeah, that pattern screams made-up date, or at least estimated date.
And get this. Only 18% of supercentenarians whose ages have been, really thoroughly checked even have a birth certificate.
Only 18%.
And in the USA, 0%.
Zero. Seriously, none of the validated U.S. supercentenarians have a birth certificate on record.
According to this study, 0. Think about that.
Wow. Okay, so what's the big takeaway here?
Well, the study talks about this thing they call the Italian sibling problem.
The Italian sibling problem.
Yeah, imagine a younger person just uses their older sibling's real birth document after the sibling passes away. It's a real document, but it's not their document.
I see. And how would you ever catch that just by looking at the paper?
Exactly. You probably couldn't. It highlights this, fundamental flaw in simply relying on documents to validate extreme ages. It seems almost too simple a way to fool the system.
And I mean, history backs this up, doesn't it? I remember hearing about Japan back in 2010.
Oh, yeah. What happened there?
They did an audit and found something like 82% of their registered centenarians were, well, missing, or just imaginary records.
82%. Good grief.
And Greece in 2012, similar story. At least 72% of supposed centenarians were found to be deceased or involved in pension fraud.
It's staggering.
And now we have newer methods, right? Like epigenetic clocks.
Yeah, those measure biological age based on DNA changes.
And those methods are suggesting that many people documented as being extremely old might actually be 8 to 20 years younger than their papers claim.
8 to 20 years younger.
Yeah, it throws a lot into question.
So wrapping this up, this deep dive basically reveals that this huge number of supercentenarians we hear about, it might not be this amazing story of human lifespan.
But more a story of messy paperwork and sometimes outright fraud.
Pretty much. Clerical errors and pension scams seem to be a big part of the picture.
And the implications are huge, right? If we can't reliably pin down someone's actual chronological age.
It messes with everything. Medical research on aging, our whole understanding of human health limits.
It really undermines a lot of data we might rely on.
Absolutely. It does make you wonder, doesn't it? How many things we think we know about longevity are based on potentially flawed data? Just imagine if we moved beyond just paper documents. What if we could use reliable biological age markers, like those epigenetic clocks, for everyone?
A universal biological age metric.
Yeah. How much clearer could our understanding of human health and aging actually become? It's something to think about.
Definitely food for thought.
Well, we hope this deep dive gave you plenty to chew on. If you found this surprising, maybe a little unsettling, but insightful,
Please subscribe.
and share what the study says with a friend, we'll see you next time.